Hi everyone. I'm coming on live today in my group on Facebook, Intuitive Angel Messages. And I just wanted to talk about the incoming energy, the incoming frequency coming in at this time. Last night was a rough night and I didn't sleep that much. And I just want to talk a little bit about why I didn't sleep last night. And, you guys let me know if you've been having a hard time sleeping, if you are noticing anxiety raising up and or, heart palps, lucid dreams, really intense incoming energy in the evenings when we're sleeping. And why is it always when we're sleeping? Does anybody know? Anybody? Why is it that we get this incoming energy when we're sleeping? Anybody know the reason why? Why isn't it like during the daytime when you're at work or you're doing some activity during the daytime? Why isn't it that it's coming in at that time instead of nighttime? Drive you nuts, right? Nighttime's like time for sleep time, but no sleep time, incoming energy time. Yep, it's the best time for them to work on us. Yeah, you're totally having all these symptoms. Join the club. I'm gonna join. I'm gonna put together a little group. Well, this is it right here. This is it. This is the group. I think this is one of the main topics of conversation in the group Intuitive Angel Messages that we have on Facebook. And why is it on Facebook? Because what other social media platforms can you use to bring everybody together to socialize in a spiritual community? Facebook. That's why. So incoming energy last night was so extreme. I had to have a chat with Archangel Michael a few times to ask for help. It was so intense. So if you ever have issues where you're uncomfortable for any reason, it doesn't matter if it's with energy here to help us and transmute the heaviness. It doesn't matter if it's with a person in your life. It doesn't matter if it's with spirit or an energy running amok. What's most important is that you hold your own, express your boundaries, and set up how you want things to be, okay? So if you're not sleeping good, if you're having a hard time, if you're noticing things, going off the charts, it's important to express to your spiritual team how you're feeling and what you're expecting, okay? So important. So many of us just react to what is, and then we just go on through life like that. And that's just, it's going to be a slow slog for you. It's going to be hard. So it's really important to set your boundaries. Okay, so last night, I fell asleep on the couch. And for those of you who've watched my videos before, you'll know that my next door neighbor is also a medium. And we've conversed several times in regards to there's like a light highway that's just out in front of our house. So where she is, where I am, we've talked about it, what it looks like, who's there, and we both match up on every level. So there's an easy access point just in front of my house. We often see Archangel Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, and Metatron hanging out having a chat fest together. Sometimes we see that. Other times Metatron's out near my house where I visit at a park. And then Jesus also comes and goes from this easy access point. And it looks like a long white light. It's very radiant. And they just come in and out of that. And it's just permanently there. So what I have is whenever spirit wants to come chat with me or converse with me, it can just come right through my glass sliding door off my patio. But I'm not interested in spirit just coming and going out of my house whenever it wants. So everybody must have approval through my, if you want to call it, my spiritual bouncer or my gatekeeper, which is Archangel Michael. And if you haven't asked Archangel Michael to come move into your home yet, do it now. Do it now. Okay? P.S. You can also ask him to come move into your workplace. So if you're having a hard time in your work environment, you just ask Archangel Michael to come and move into your work environment and help you with the energy in your work environment as well. So last night, I had incredible amounts of ET energy, and it was so palpable. I could feel it on the other side of the glass door, like pressing in. And then I have a curtain, and this energy was so intensive. I remember thinking, oh my God, this is just too much. I knew it was just there along with source frequency, or if you want to call it ascension frequency, or if you want to call it, a lot of people will call it the event when they're describing a wave of energy coming in, or we can call it light codes, whatever you want to call it, okay? It's just a description. So I knew that this ET frequency was intertwined in with the ascension wave that was coming in and working on me in the evening, but it was so intense. I could barely sleep. Heart palps, anxiety, felt like I was being watched. I don't care to be watched when I'm sleeping. Everybody knows of this. Pointing at Archangel Michael. So he knows. And so anyways, so when it woke me up again and again and again, I have a hard time. Then I have a problem. Then everybody's got a problem because I got a problem. So it's important. Hi, Irene. It's important that if you're being bothered by anyone, spirit or ascension waves with intertwined ET energy, that you hold your own. Okay? This is supposed to be used. It's a throat box. Use it. Speak up and, converse and articulate yourself. We don't have to yell and scream. We just need to communicate with spirit. This is an issue in my life, and I need you to help me resolve it. You can call on Archangel Michael. You can call on your grandma. You can call on any one of your loved ones. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to show up and they're going to bring backup. So grandma is going to bring in her angels, probably, work with your angels, most likely, probably be bringing in archangels, maybe some ascended masters to come and help you. So it doesn't matter who you ask. Just know that it's important that you articulate and vocalize and ask, okay? So that's what I did. I said, Big Mike, this is really bothering me. I can't sleep. I keep being woken up. I feel like I'm getting watched. And so I think I know what it is, but I'm asking him, what is it? It's ET energy coming in. So there's a lot of sources of light around the planet right now. And I have had ascension waves that are intertwined with angelic frequency. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm sitting back and I'm enjoying it as it fills up my home. I'm checking in with my other medium friends. Everybody's experiencing the same thing. Kumbaya. Not the same for me when I got ET energy coming in. I'm like, heart palps. I'm not really enjoying this. What's going on, Big Mike? So he's just expressing to me that we have a lot of ETs around the planet right now, and they're helping us purge and release that which is no longer needed. And that'll be from anything that's unfolded in this lifetime and anything that's unfolded in any of your lifetimes. It's just a purge fest, okay? Purge Fest 2021 happening right now. So I'm going to have a chat with Archangel Michael, and I'm just going to let him go ahead and channel guidance on this topic. Then if I have any questions for him, I'm going to ask him. And then if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away, okay? Okay, so we're ready for you to step forward and have a chat with us about this topic. This is an ascension wave that is intertwined with ET energy, multiple different ETs, and he's listing off some of them. So I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and do that. We do have gray energy around the planet, and he's kind of doing a slight smile, and he's saying the good ones, okay? So we have the good-natured grays, the ones that are here helping us. They are here. The Yael, the tall whites, the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians have been here for a long time, he says. Since the absolute beginning, even before the beginning of the planet, okay? Because he's talking about the Pleiadians helped to seed the planet. The Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Syrians, the Lyrians. And then there's countless other ones, he's saying, that we haven't even put a label to or a name to, or they are what we would deem as being unique, in that we don't talk about them that often, as often on Earth. And they're all surrounding the planet. Everyone knows that the ascension of the planet is underway, and they are stepping forward to contribute their light in order to help the masses here on Earth. And he's excited about it, and he's happy about it. It's just that there are moments where some of us are more open or more sensitive, or we have more sensitive bodies. And okay, so let's break that down. Okay, so I'm going to break that down, and I'm going to ask him to correct me if I'm mistaken in any way, shape, or form of what I'm saying. So when he says you're more open, it means your chakra centers are more expanded. You're able to bring in more light into your vessel. So you're more cracked open. Some people are going through life like this, and their chakra centers, they don't even feel their chakra centers, and that's fine too. Even if you're curious about this path and you're asking questions, you're still moving in the right direction on the path of awakening. Or you're going to get there sooner or later because you're interested. You're interested, and at some point, vibrationally, you're likely going to be ready. So this light will come in and permeate our vessels, but it also helps to open and expand our chakra centers even more so. And the more we open our chakra centers over time, the more light we can bring in, which means it's more it feels more intensive, right? So some of us have more of a sensitive body. So some of us are maybe more delicate in nature. Some of us have health issues. Some of us were just born with more of a, sensitive light body, whereas some of us are maybe more have a heavier, more solid body, and we don't even get colds, we don't get the flu, we just haul through life, and we don't have these kinds of issues ever. Okay, so I'm trying to give you the difference. Some of us are getting more light frequency than others. So some of us, we're not ready for the full gamut. So we're just going to get little doses. Whereas some of us are wide open and we're ready for more energy to permeate our vessels. Therefore, we get it more full throttle, or at least it seems that way. And then he says when you have a combination of many, such as more of a sensitive body, and you're also more sensitive and open, you're more awake, you're more in tuned with the vibrational frequency that surrounds you, that is permeating through you in the evenings, then it becomes more of an issue, as it has for Kristin. Yeah. So, yeah, it has. Hi, guys. So, this was happening last night. It felt like somebody was peering in through the glass door, and I really didn't like it at all. Plus, I'm not accustomed to incredible amounts of ET frequency, encompassing my home. I'm used to Pleiadian energy. I'm used to angelic frequency. I'm used to the archangels. I'm used to the ascended masters. But I don't tend to have, huge amounts of, different variety of ET frequency permeating my home or my vessel. It's not just your home. When we're at nighttime and we're nice and relaxed, it's a prime time to come and work on us. And so they're permeating our vessels. Okay, so I'm just going to let him go ahead and chat. Okay. There are some of you that will not notice any of this, he says. And that's all right. You'll notice other things like number sequences and other messages, wording that you're noticing on signs, license plates, or the same word being said to you or given to you, or that you're reading. So you'll see a similar word multiple times over. So there's other messages that are coming through to you, and that's how it begins. That's how it starts, dear ones. Once you are ready to take on more, then that will begin to happen for you. He says, is there anything that you can do to further this path along for yourselves? He says, why, yes. Here he goes. Okay. The foods that you eat being high vibrational and nutritional for your vessel, that's of the top importance. The vibrational frequency that you house within your vessel, also of top importance, and the ways in which you are to I don't think he wants to say the word control that, but the way that you're able to observe your own vibrational frequency and keep it more on the higher will be dependent upon where you're placing your attention and your focus in life, the thoughts that you predominantly have in your minds, the feelings that may flood you or at times overwhelm you on a regular basis. So whatever you don't like, thoughts that come up, feelings or emotions that come up, you can hand them off to Archangel Michael or your team of angels or anyone else that you feel affiliated with, and they will transmute these into the light so that they do not overwhelm you or drop your frequency on a regular basis moving forward. Okay. Some of you should know that this is going to intensify throughout the year of 2021 into the springtime of 2022, and then as we come closer towards the summer, it's going to step back and we're going to get a break. But pretty much until this moving into the summertime of 2022, we're not getting any breaks. Usually we'll get a break around Christmas time, and then it starts up again in the spring, but this time we're just getting no breaks through 2021 with this energy coming in. So what to expect in the future, he says, with the ascension waves. P.S. If you're just watching this now, I'm channeling Archangel Michael. So what's to come in the future? He says that the different energies that are surrounding the earth at this time are going to take their turns. So right now it is the ET origins, or our ET star families that are here, and it is their turn. And this is going to go on for, he's talking about a week, 7 days, roughly 7 days, okay? And then it's going to ease back, ease back, ease back. Okay, and he's talking about some of us will get individual integration, so it'll be individually for you because you're ready for this. But what he's talking about right now is a wave of energy that is flooding and permeating the planet and all of the inhabitants at this time. And this is intertwined, or he's doing this, intertwined with ET frequency. And some of these ETs that are here are, and who are contributing their energy to this task of raising the vibrational frequency here on Earth, are our Starseed family members, energies that we have incarnated with in other vessels, also known as our Starseed origins, other than Earth, of course, or being human. There's nothing to fret and there's nothing to worry about if it becomes too much for you. If you notice your ascension symptoms intensify to a range that is uncomfortable for you or creating discomfort within yourselves, simply call upon me he's talking about, like, if we were to dial up this energy to be 10 out of 10, he says he'll just dial it down a little bit for you, okay? So if you find this energy is too intensive for you, just call upon Archangel Michael and he'll dial it down a bit so it's not too much, which means it's just not going to permeate your vessel as intensively. The other suggestions that he has is to eat rooted, grounding vegetables and or foods that help to ground you, foods that have been grown in the earth herself. And also, he's talking about going out onto the earth, and you can sit on the earth or you can stand and just place your back up against a tree, and that will help you tremendously. Okay. He says, well, that's all I have to say about what's going to be coming up this week. So one question I have is, how often will the ETs and their energy be permeating our vessels? What's the total in this year coming up of 2021? He says it's a rotation. And he's talking about, so the angels will have their rotation. The archangels will infuse and help to lift our frequency and permeate our vessels and transmute the heaviness. Also helping, he says, to create the crystalline DNA within our vessels to make us more light-filled, okay? And so the archangels will have their turn. There are archangels here, he's saying, that we aren't even aware of. We know of Raphael and Gabriel and Michael and Metatron and Haniel and Jophiel and Uriel. We know of these ones, but there are others here that are observing the planet and helping in participation of infusing their light frequency in with source frequency, or other labels would be light codes, solar flares, however we're going to get the light through the earth or and the inhabitants, they're going to contribute their light. And then he's talking about, he's showing me souls. Okay, are these souls that have incarnated on? No, these are very, very high vibrational souls that have not incarnated on Earth. They're just here to show support and to be supportive and to help infuse their light here as well. So they will also have their turn infusing their light energy through the earth and us. And this is the animals and the nature and everybody here. So he's talking about right now we have the ET's energy as their turn, and then throughout this year we have two more turns for the ETs. He's smiling at me and he says he knows that I don't like it. Some people are so drawn to the ETs and the Starseed origins. I mean, you probably feel more comfortable with this energy permeating your vessels. I've always been really drawn to Pleiadians and the angels. So I'm like, that's my shtick, okay? But it's just a little bit of a different energy. That's all it is. And it was so intensive for me last night that I didn't even know what to do with myself. I got up a couple times and then I said, okay, I got to call him back up. And that's when you have a direct chat with Archangel Michael as to dialing it down. And I kept saying, clear this energy out. And he just chuckled. And I was like, oh. So I knew that I knew there was ascension wave coming in. It just, this ET energy was not something I'm accustomed to. And it being this strong. So then I knew, okay, this energy isn't going to get cleared out. I'm actually meant to be worked on tonight. But then I asked him to dial it down. And then by the morning, I remember, oh, the light is coming through the window. I made it through the night. And I said to myself, what a relief. The energy has died down. Oh, thank God I made it through. So tonight better be dialed down and from here on in, because I don't care for this frequency too much. It's just not as much of a vibrational match for my frequency. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just me and that. That's all it is. Oh yeah. So Irene, you've been having a feeling like someone is watching you while you're asleep at night. Doesn't that just drive you weird? It's just weird and it drives you nuts. I don't like it. I had the Yael show up at my house once and they just had no clue that would ever be bothersome to me. Like just no understanding that them standing in the corner of my room, 3 of them watching me, would even be bothering me. So I said, not right now. At 5 a.m., woke me up, came through the back of my head to chat with me, for me to pass along a message to someone I knew. I said, no, I'm going to sleep. Please don't bother me. And then they just kept hanging out in the corner of the room watching me. I said, could you wait outside my house, please? And they did. They went. And then I called in Archangel Michael to sweep the rest of their energy out, which he did. And then I conked right out, and he was right by my bed the rest of the night. So these are the valuable things for you guys to know, that if someone's watching you or if it's bothersome, it's not intentional for the most part. And you have backup you can call upon and set your intentions and set your boundaries, okay? I'm not sitting here out of fear. I'm sitting here out of, it's important for you to set your intentions and set your boundaries. That's what's important. Okay, so Irene's noticing someone watching her at night. Is there someone in the room with her at night? Yes? There is several. Okay. Is this ascension related? Yes and no. So you have some energy there that's ascension related and other energy that's there that's not ascension related. This is correct. Okay, so what is it? Oh, okay. It's your team of angels, your guardian angels, and the rest of your angels. They're working with you and working on you while you're sleeping. It's a good time to work on you because the mind is nice and still and quiet and peaceful. And the body's nice and relaxed. And it's a prime time to come work on you. Anybody else? I see a gentleman. And it's very loving, very warm. Grandfather. So you have your grandfather there as well. He just keeps an eye on things. Are you coming and going? Or are you spending a lot of time there? Coming and going. He's coming and going. When he knows that the angels are going to be working on you, he likes to participate. He's smiling. Okay, anything else? He loves you. He's sending his love. Okay, and it feels like it's your mother's father. And I get a thumbs up. So let me know if that resonates, Irene. Anything else? No. I see him hanging back in the corner of your room. But if anything bothers you, you need to let them know. Like, you can be here, I just don't want this uncomfortable feeling, okay? Or could you wait just outside so I can sleep tonight? Timothy, what will happen to the planet when all of the inhabitants are operating at a higher frequency at the same time? Well, my God, is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? That's what I ask. Okay, so I'm going to let you take that one. Archangel Michael says it's going to be a paradise, similar or like the Pleiadian planet in which Kristin has incarnated upon. And he says, how is that for you, Kristin? So you guys, you know, I had a QHHT session and I put it up on my YouTube channel, and I'll put the link in the comments and also below this video on YouTube. But I describe what it's like when I'm visiting this planet. We're just like, well, we're going to go and see where you incarnated. I'm like, sweet. I think it's Pleiadian, but I don't know for sure. And then we get there and I'm like, wow, this planet was glowing blue like this. And it was like Shangri-La paradise there. It was like Hawaii times 100. I'm not kidding. Waterfalls, greenery, but the frequency there was so wonderful. You could just sit in it forever. And I had my soulmate, he's incarnated as a Pleiadian, come and greet me and chat with me. And he was so beautiful. I remember I was chatting with him telepathically, okay? There was no movement of mouth. And then the person doing the QHHT session for me says, is this a male or a female? And I'm like, are you a male or a female? Because he was so gloriously beautiful. I didn't know what to pinpoint this as, right? The hair and the face and the eyes, and it was just like, oh my God. And he just smiled and said, I'm male. And I'm like, oh, sorry. But that's how glorious it was. So that's the direction that Earth is moving in. Do you want to say anything else? It's going to take a while to get there, he says. It's not going to happen overnight. And for those of you that are going to continue to incarnate here on an ongoing basis, having your lifetimes here in a seeming physical reality, it will be several lifetimes into your futures, okay? So it's going to take a while, but we're starting to move in the right direction now. And if you look at Earth, he says right now as being like a pressure cooker, like a lot of pressure going on with Earth right now and what's happening on Earth right now. He says there's more to come. So it's really important to go within and to keep as high vibrational as you possibly can and to ground yourselves as often as you can. He's talking about the different ways we can ground ourselves. We can take a nice big piece of rose quartz, like I'm talking about the size of the palm of my hand, okay? And you're going to put it down at your pelvic bone. And that's going to help open your lower 3 chakras and also clear them and also help to anchor your energy into your body. So if you're indoors a lot, get a piece of rose quartz and put it on your lap. That's what my angels told me to do one day. I'm like, what? You want me to put it where? Why would I put it there? And then I was like, oh, and boy, did I feel it right away. It was like, wow. So the other ways is grounding yourselves outside in nature, laying on the ground. If you can't get outside, you lay on the bottom ground of your floor of your house or your home. Say you're way up high in an apartment building, lay on the floor and ask the earth to come up and help ground you. And the most important thing, that I've been mentioning is ask the earth to pull your energy through out your feet and root chakra on an ongoing basis for the rest of your life, because that's going to help ground you steadily. So you need to make that request to her so she hears it. You have to say it or think it, and she'll get it. It's a memo that she will receive, because your words and your thoughts are energy. So whether you think it or speak it makes no mind, just you need to say it to her. And then she'll help to, because ascension symptoms happen when this energy comes in so hot and heavy and there's so much of it that it pools up in the top half of you, and then you've got all sorts of ascension symptoms. So it's so important to ask her to pull it through into her, because more is coming in, and it's just going to keep coming in, wave after wave. Anything else you want to add to that? He looks forward to the days to come when the vibrational frequency rises here on earth, and it will continue to rise bit by bit. But he knows by which you speak of, Timothy, the days in which we are all relatively on the same path. Okay. All right. Great question, Timothy. Okay. Karen feels like somebody's touching her on the top of her head. Okay. And you feel like it's a she? Okay. And who is it? Usually this is your guardian angel, but we'll see if there's anybody else. Could be a loved one. Who's touching Karen's head? I am. Her guardian angel. Female. Okay. Letting you know that she's there and that she is with you. She says when you have a quiet mind, you will be able to hear the words that she will flood forth into your mind. It will sound like your own internal voice at first. Go with it. Please do not second guess what you are receiving, the information and guidance that you are receiving. And she's also talking about your loved ones on the other side would like to converse with you in this way as well, and relay messages to you as well. She will oversee all forms of communication that is allowed to step forward to communicate through you. So she doesn't want you to worry or be concerned that it will be anyone other than what is approved by her. Thank you, dear one. That was intense. She came right through the back of my head, really direct, like, Yeah, lately it's been brutal, Heather. You're getting weird sensations in your upper chest. Me too. Not painful, no, but pressure, and it feels uncomfortable. But feeling like anxiety. Yeah, it's like anxiety with the pressure. I notice this when I wake up when you wake up in the morning. No kidding. I get it at nighttime and a little bit at night when I'm in bed sleeping. So anybody? Oh yeah. Strong starseed origins you have, Heather. I'm sure you already know that. Oh, that's different. Strong too, real strong. Oh man, I don't know how I can take that. It's coming up behind me and it's just, yeah, thank you. Stepping back now. It was like painful. Okay, go ahead. You have starseed family members with you, Heather. Myself and then a little smaller one to the left. This feels female. Like it's, if you looked at us here, this is a fractal of your higher self incarnating as a human being. So you've had lifetimes as a fractal with this female, presenting as female because you've had lifetimes with her. Feels like she played the role of a mother energy with you. I'm getting a thumbs up. And it's really different than human. Really different. She's telling me that. Might be bumpy for you at times here on Earth, Heather. Yeah. But she's helping helping you, and she's helping to smooth it out and make it easier for you, along with this smaller one, shorter. Who is this? Also, Starseed family member, and I get brother, incarnated with you as a brother. And now these energies are here helping you on Earth, you know, because these energies are omnipresent. Our souls are omnipresent. They can be anywhere and everywhere all at once. Isn't that just the coolest thing ever? So Heather, let me know about, you know, what I'm receiving here so that we can, oh man, she has a message for you. Right through my upper back, on my backside. Ooh. When you feel a lot of pressure through your vessel, that is, it's intense, it's very isolated, that's me getting your attention, Heather. That's me getting your attention. I want you to sit with stillness when you feel this sensation and allow me to converse with you through your mind, similar or like this dear one. She wants you to ground yourself often because it'll make things easier for you being here on Earth, and it will make things easier for you anchoring this light, these light frequencies through your vessel. She's telling me there's a lot of changes that are happening within your body. And all I see is brilliant white light. And this light's coming in and it's doing all these changes or work within your vessel. So I don't know if you noticed that, Heather, or maybe this is just what she wants you to know. There's nothing to be concerned about. This is what will be taking place for many of us here on Earth. Some of us have had more unique starseed origins, or starseed origins that are vastly different than Earth. She's likening it to like Pleiadians are a little similar to Earth, so it's easier for you to incarnate here if you've had a predominant Pleiadian lifetimes. But there are other starseed origins where they are so different than Earth, and you're able to do things that were so simple and so easy, and you were so much more advanced, and now you're taking like several steps backward into really what seems like an archaic age. Did you just say that? Archaic age? Harsh. Heather, you ever feel that way? In comparison to where you incarnated, yes, Kristin. That's what she's saying. So what I see is telepathy. I see no movement of mouth, telepathically communicating, but very rapidly moving objects with your mind, healing with your mind, curious, avid learner, curious and avid, wanting to learn and expand your consciousness through a way of learning up in the head. Here on Earth, she says, it's a lot of feeling, getting in touch with your feelings. I think she's teasing you, like, getting in touch with my feelings. Sometimes it's easier to not feel, or to kind of hover more outside your body rather than be in your body. But where you want to be is in your body, Heather. That's where you want to be. And the more you do that, the easier it will be for you to be here on Earth. And she's helping you do that. My nose is just flooding now. Excuse me. Ooh. She's thanking me. Very strong, Heather. Okay. So starseeds is your energy that's had an incarnation elsewhere on other planets, either in the physical or the non-physical. I've met a lot of people that have had Orion experiences, or if you want to call them lifetimes, but some of them have been in the non-physical and some of them have been in the physical. And if we were to talk about how many starseed origins there are, it's unlimited, There's no limit. There's no end number. It just is so many. Okay. What we know as far as the different types of starseed origins on Earth is very small amount in comparison to what is there. Anybody else want to pitch in about starseed origins? Oh, isn't that great, Irene? Your grandpa was very loving while you were young. He's still here. He's still with you. And he comes and he goes. Isn't that great? All right. Let's take some more questions. Jean is asking, I know I've had many lifetimes as a female Pleiadian. Let me just feel your energy. I'd say that's very much accurate. You've had predominantly Pleiadian. Let's see if your angels want to give me anything else. You've had a couple times as a Nocturian, but that wasn't your cup of tea. Really? Cup of tea? Yeah? And then Earth. And then dusting off their hands. Oh, have I had any other ET Starseed lifetimes? There you go. Just reading your question now. Your angel obviously knew what you were asking. Ah, too funny. So, predominantly Pleiadian, couple times as Arcturian. P.S. That's me too. Predominantly Pleiadian. Tried it out as an Arcturian a couple times. Earth. Joan, could you please ask who it is that I used to feel come and sit at the end of your bed when you were sleeping? But they're not coming anymore. Okay, let's see. Was there someone sitting on the end? Yes. Yes, there was. Okay. Your guardian angel, Joan, seems more serious. Very factual-like. Or at least through this conversation. Mm-hmm. Direction. So sometimes maybe, Joan, you need direction. So your angel is giving you what they present themselves based on what we need at this stage in our lives. So I don't catch my guardian angel joking around a lot either, but I got enough for the both of us. So she knows that's not what I need. But with you, Joan, your guardian angel feels like you need more direction. So that's why she chooses to come through like this. And okay, so now we're going to talk about who's coming in. They're not sitting on the end of your bed anymore. But when they did, loved ones, family members that had crossed over. Did you feel that too, Joan? That when you feel someone sitting on the end of your bed, it's not like you felt threatened or uncomfortable. You knew it was a loving energy just there visiting you, because that's all I'm getting. Anything else? I get grandparents, and if it's not your grandparents, it's great-grandparents, or both in tandem. Grandparents? Great-grandparents? I'm almost like getting great-grandparents. That's more highlighted. Okay, let me know, Joan. Okay. Amy, there's always a man in a black suit, it looks like, around me, or dressed in black. Who is it? Oh. If there's a man that was hanging around me in a black suit, I can guarantee you I'd be having a chat why he's there, and I'd be calling in my spiritual bouncer, and if he wasn't allowed to be there, he wouldn't be there anymore. Number one. Okay, Amy? Amy's very open to spirit. Amy, you attract light to you. You attract spirit to you. Boundaries are needed. Boundaries are needed. I'm just repeating what I'm hearing from your team. Okay? When our vibrational frequency is not grounded, or we have a lot of fragmented thinking in our minds kind of go off, and we have like this feeling of not being certain about things in the world. We don't feel maybe supported or kind of uncertain about things. We don't feel entirely comfortable in the world, okay? That's the energy we're emitting, okay? And if we choose to emit this, we are then going to be, it's the law of attraction, right? We are the manifestors of our realities. So if we have that frequency going out there like that, then we attract in other spirits that are a vibrational match to that energy. So it's what's most important. I've got your angel right here telling me this, wrapped around my face. What's most important, beloved one, is that you focus in on feeling more settled, more comfortable here, within yourself and within the world. Also, it is very important that you hold your boundaries. Some of these energies that are visiting you are comfortable, comforting, and others may piggyback and their time with you is not warranted or needed. A lot of souls that haven't crossed over yet, or some souls are running amok. What I'm getting, I don't feel like this is running amok. It's just there. It will show up because they notice you noticing them. So as soon as you notice them, they're going to be like, oh my God, someone notices me. And the second reason why is because you're so open that they can just see you so easily, which is fine. Just as long as they see Archangel Michael there too. Okay? She wants you to really get focused on being comfortable in the world and getting comfortable within yourself. And that is difficult. It has been difficult based on where your soul has incarnated previously to Earth. Because Earth is very different. And in many ways, Earth has proven to be a place of has proven to be not entirely a safe place for you. Okay, Amy? So you're looking out into the world and it's like, it's not safe here. But your angel wants to remind you that you are the manifester of your reality. So rather than reflecting back to once what was or looking at what is, she wants you to turn within and create your own inner peace and the light within. She wants you to expand it brightly. She wants you to visualize your white light expanding out exponentially from within you, transmuting all that is no longer needed, and lifting and raising your own frequency, and getting very comfortable with being you, and within you, and within the world, because you will create your own reality. Rather than reacting to what was or what you're noticing now, she wants you to create your own reality. You will decide what you want more of and what things you like to have us transmute and dissipate out of your life. You get to choose. You get to decide. Thank you, dear one. Amy, let me know if that resonates. Whoop. You're welcome. Irene, I want you to sit quietly and I want you to ask your team, why am I drawn to Native American culture? And I want you to see what you get. And then you're going to type it in the comments and then I'm going to see what I get. You know, there's times where I'll feel the same thing, Chrissy, like a touch on the leg or the ankle. And it's kind of a light, frolicking sensation or energy. And then I know what it is. It's usually the fairies. Usually. Let me just see. Chrissy's noticing a touch on her ankle. Is it the fairies? The fairies are outside waiting for you, but they don't come into your home. So what is touching her ankle? I'm getting the angels. The angels. My angel loves to do this on my forehead when I'm stressing or worrying too much. So when that happens, Chrissy, I want you to pay attention right in that moment. Were you having a low vibrational thought or emotion to something? Or were you watching something low vibrational on TV? Okay? In that moment where you're getting a little touch, that's what I want you to pay attention to. Are you tired and fatigued and you're staying up later than you should be? That's another reason why my angel will get my attention. Go to bed. Okay? Turn the laptop off. Okay? So in that moment, when you're getting that little wisp of a touch, I want you to pay attention to what was going on in your mind, or what were you focusing on, or are you staying up too late and it's time for bedtime, but you stayed up too late. That's what I want you to pay attention to. Number one, Cindy, I don't know why you would want to close your chakras, because it's super uncomfortable. You know, when we get that tightness in our chest, you know, intuitively, your angels are guiding you all the time. So if you're going to go do something or go visit someone, or you're going to go travel somewhere and you get that tightness in your chest, or you're going to go take that job, pay attention to the tightness in your chest. It's your angels just closing the chakras down a bit and slowing the flow of energy coming through enough to create a tightness. And then you're going to sit and have a conversation with them. You don't want me to take this job? And they'll just, okay, can you ease off now? And then they'll totally ease it off. And then you can have a conversation with them. And this will be no, this will be yes. Okay? So you always want to have energy flowing through your chakra centers. You want them to be open and flowing, okay? And if you've had a situation where maybe you've had health issues or a lot of stress in your life, or you feel just depleted energetically, tired, you may want to ask your angels to then replace your chakras. So then they'll bring in a nice fresh new one that's nice and open. Okay, because depending on, you know, if you've had surgeries like I have, I mean, my root chakra came out, it fell out in pieces because I've had several surgeries down there. So when we put in the new one, ooh, I was feeling good, feeling so good. And from time to time, whenever I feel like it, I'm just like, yeah, maybe we'll replace my chakras now again. Whichever ones need to be replaced, that is. Those are the ones they'll replace. They may not replace all of them, just the ones that need to be replaced. You want that energy flowing. You're coughing here, likely either you have a dry throat or you have energy coming in through your throat chakra, which makes you cough because energy is attempting communication with you. So which one is it, Chrissy? Okay, so I'm going to come down a little bit lower and see if Amy or anyone has made comment to anything that I've channeled. Oh, yeah. I knew you'd want her name, Heather. I felt so strongly like I wanted to channel her name, but I thought, no, I'll wait and see if Heather asks the question. And then you did. Okay. Heather's guardian angel. First, I'm going to get your guardian angel, then I'm going to get your Starseed family member. Barbara is your guardian angel's name. 3 thumbs up for confirmation. Starseed family member. that you participated with as she was your mother in some lifetimes. Oh, she's giving me a hard one. It's a different name. Okay, go ahead. DAX. So that's short for her real name. But that's the easy version to call her by. Okay? Okay, so. So some of the energy that's coming in, Amy, is comforting and comfortable. But if you're just like, hey, everybody, come on in, let's party here, you know, anyone that's noticing you is going to show up, and they're not all allowed to be there. So it's just important to call in Archangel Michael as your spiritual bouncer to come and live with you and to hold your boundaries. I've been doing readings now for almost 4 years, and I've never met someone that is not a starseed. Can you believe that? And there's people online that say, well, some of us are and some of us aren't. I haven't met any that aren't. Our souls have tried it out somewhere else, and now they've come to Earth. Earth is where you come when you've had many lifetimes under your belt. A soul needs that practice before they come to Earth. And I've never seen a soul just show up on Earth for the very first time in its own lifetime, okay? Only lifetime. I've been told by the angels that there are souls on Earth that have only had human lifetimes, but I've never met them. And yeah, so, and as far as like grays, for example, I've only seen 2. And the one I really felt like I got to know quite well, and she also came to me for a reading, you know, incarnating here is hard. Going from gray, where there's no emotion, not much expression, and you can do all these like way more advanced things, and then you come in as a human and it's loud and it's bright and it's just too much, it's irritating, and yeah, so it's quite different. After she had a reading with me, and we just kind of worked with the angels about how to make things more comfortable for her, things improved a lot for her. She wrote a huge review after having a reading. And I say thank you, angels, because they're the ones to know how to make things easier. So important. Even if you're not hearing them, you talk with them and ask them to help you with things in your life. Pick 3 things a day, because they're just hanging out here waiting. And it's our free will. We have to ask. So ask. Yeah, Amy, you are surrounded. You are surrounded, yeah. If I let it be that way, Amy, I would be surrounded too, all the time. But I've made that very clear. I don't want to be bombarded all the time. And I don't want my abilities to be on all the time, because then I would be tired, real tired. Okay. Every single one of us has gifts. That's part of the reason why I offer the Mediumship for Beginners course coming up in April, and the one which is the Mediumship 102 course in May. You don't have to take one after the other. They're totally unique, different courses. But that's the reason why I offer those courses, is to reawaken and remind each of us of our gifts that we naturally have, and to help you bring which ones to the forefront, recognize them, and then use them. So in the beginning, I was very clairsentient, intuition, physical. I'd always feel physically if something felt right or didn't, or what path. And I had claircognizance. So I'd have ideas, insights, information that would enter my brain, or I'd know the right thing to say in the right moment. And then I developed clairaudience, which was extremely helpful. And then it was probably about 3 years now, my clairvoyance came on last. But so some of you are very clairvoyant and some of you are very clairsentient. So whatever you are, we bring that to the forefront and we start using it. Yes and no responses through your body to communicate with your team, using angel cards, practicing sensing energy, practicing sensing, shaking your guardian angel's hand. There's so many cool things that I would say I'm showing you, but it's actually the angels that are the ones that give me the idea to practice these things and have over the last 15 years. So these are the kinds of things that I share with you, among many others. Oh, yeah. So if you're ever interested in the courses that I'm offering, I have the one in April, the one in May. You can go to KristinDaviesMedium.com and the links will be below as well. And after May, there won't be any courses offered until the middle of October and then November, and then that'll be it for the rest of the year. If you're asking if you're open, then you must be open, because you wouldn't be asking that question unless you were. 110%. Okay, good, Amy. Amy, boundaries. Get real comfy. Practice the comfort. And anything that makes you uncomfortable or uneasy or insecure and not safe in the world, you know what I'm talking about. I used to feel that way back when I was like 25. And I remember a medium said she was seeing a scared little bunny rabbit. I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so get really comfortable with being uncomfortable, because like fear and discomfort, just it can't have its grip on you if you face things, right? And then you're just like, yeah, let's go. Patty, is Patty stagnant or progressing? You're exactly where you need to be, dear one. You're exactly where you need to be. Thank you, Kristin. All right, Patty. Female guardian angel has spoken. Well, leaking out everywhere. Your energy's always leaking out everywhere. If you think about it, because you have chakra centers like all over your body. That's why acupuncture worked so well for me back in the day. So it gets your energy flowing. Your energy is emanating out. You have energy permeating in. I wouldn't be too concerned about it, Cindy. The only thing I would be focusing on is grounding myself so that my thoughts weren't going off down different rabbit holes and getting worked up or concerned about things that, well, really, we don't want to get focused on those kinds of things because we don't want to create more thoughts like that. And rabbit holes only take you so far. It's insatiable. It gets to the point where no answer is good enough because you got more questions. You got more. Let's go. So grounding, get content and peaceful, and know that you'll receive the answers when it's necessary or needed in your life. Anything that's too like off the deep end in all these different directions, the angels just don't go there with me because it's not necessary or needed, and they'll tell me that at this stage in my life. Oh yeah. All right. So Irene feels like it's Native American ancestors, is it? It's very warm, and I mean warm as in comforting. Blessing you. Ancestor? You've had lifetimes with this energy. It'd be like a starseed family member, except that this starseed is a earth or human lifetime, okay? So this is like, we're all starseeds. I'm a starseed now. I'm a starseed over there in a Pleiadian. I have my Pleiadian starseed family member here with me. and I recognize the energy because it's also the same fractal of energy as my spirit guide, Adrian, who is also my soulmate from my soul group. You see how energy spreads. It can be anywhere and everywhere, and it will be there for you as you need it to be. So if you need help with your diet, if you need help with certain things in your life to help you with ascension, these energies will step forward and assist you with your diet. They'll assist you with so many things. It's just amazing. Amazing. It feels like a male, and he's dancing, and he's chanting and drumming. And I think this is him blessing you. And I get a yes. Yeah, isn't that cool? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to leave for the day, and you guys know that this is going to ramp up for this week, and we do have a lot of ET energy permeating the planet right now, along with source frequency. If you feel a lot of anxiety or irritation, it's only because this is a lot of energy, so we need to ground ourselves. And if you're not accustomed to or familiar with having this strong ET energy permeating your vessel, it can make you feel a little uncomfortable. You know, that's why, you know, the grays and the different types of starseeds are not just showing up in person. We'd have to physically be ready to encounter their energy face to face. I mean, how many energies I've channeled and they're right in the room with me, and I can maybe handle some of their energies for like 10 minutes, maybe up to an hour, but would I want to hang out with this gray energy or this Arcturian energy for weeks on end and go camping and do a kumbaya? No, I wouldn't, because my physical vessel would not be okay with that. So if you're feeling like irritated, it's just because it's a different type of energy, and there's a lot of it. Okay? So you can just ask to have it dialed down and go outside and ground yourselves. Anything else? We are sparks of the Creator, Archangel Michael is saying. Be the light that you were meant to be when you chose to step forth and incarnate here, dear ones. If you wish for me to step forward and help you become more light-filled as the light beings that you are, simply ask, simply ask, simply ask. He's doing this while he's saying it. Thank you. This is Archangel Michael. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.